Welcome to Rotten Taste, where we take a look at movies under 60% on Rotten Tomatoes and kind of tell you what we think of them. And Soto, it's the Thanksgiving season. I love Thanksgiving. I love the food. I love turkey. And because of that, I thought we should watch the 2008 film Thankskilling, which does not officially have a score on Rotten Tomatoes, but has a
Mm-hmm.
42% audience score. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
counting it. I am counting it. And when it has a low audience score, you know you're in for a treat.
Oh my God.
Um, I am gonna. I've been wanting to do this. I like it would be fun to do a Thanksgiving themed movie, and I know there's a few. I saw this on a podcast, and I just died laughing. I'm like, this is so bad. I want to see it, and we have to do it. Oh my God, Soto, this was definitely a horrible movie, and it's meant to be. It is definitely meant to be. Let me ask you, when you started watching this, and I know we're going to get into a lot of this because it is utter shit. What were your thoughts? I don't even know where to start with this, but let's start with just the beginning a little bit. What did you realize we were in for? How long did it take you to be like, okay, I'm in for a ride?
Well, the first shot is just tits,
Yep.
uh, pilgrim tits, and so as soon as I saw tits on my television that big, like such a close up, I was like, okay, what's happening here? And then, this pilgrim woman, because it's in the 1600s, running through the woods, and this really shitty turkey with a hatchet just says, "Nice tits, bitch," and kills her. I was like, oh, this is going to be terrible. And also at the same time, I was like, this could be a masterpiece. So I was conflicted because the audacity of what I had just seen was like so ridiculously over top and hilarious that I actually was pretty optimistic about how this could be. Because, there's a lot of bad movies we watch that, they know they're bad. And so that's kind of like the tongue in cheek part of it. And so it ends up being like kind of entertaining. I was just talking to my buddy the other day about Snakes on a Plane. And, Cocaine Bear, which I recently saw, kind of fits that thing where it's like, you know what you're getting into. Both of these movies, by the way, have like an actual movie budget. So I don't want to say that Thanksgiving is on that level. But I was like, okay, this should be interesting. Tongue in cheek kind of a, horror movie. It shouldn't be that bad. And so it had me until after the credits when the movie started, and then everything went really downhill with some hilarious moments. But uh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and then we get so yeah, that is the opening scene after like the text. It said the year is 1621, the olden days, moments
The
after the very
olden
first
days.
Thanksgiving. All right, so I'm going to bring this up because something's about to happen later, which I'm going to definitely question and blow your mind with. But then we meet the main characters, I guess. Five of the
Yeah.
most unlikable. You got the jock. You got like
Oh,
basically the nerd, for lack of better
yeah.
terms, the hoe. Um,
Yes, the hoe.
the
Yep.
sheriff's daughter, and this, just the silly big guy.
The sheriff. Oh my
Uh,
God.
yeah, there's a lot. So, and they're in college and they're going on Thanksgiving break, which, the one girl's like, "Oh, it's spring break. We're going to do all this and show." I'm like, how do you confuse spring break with Thanksgiving break? But anyhow, so the five of them get home, but there's some lore to this. Soto, there is some weird ass lore to this movie, and I got to bring this up because
There's
you find
lore.
out, yes, the turkey comes back every 505 years to kill all the white
So
people
random.
that it took them. But here's the thing, Soto. I just want, first of all, I want you to think about this: 505 years. The first killing that we saw in the credits was in 1621, which means technically this movie takes place in 2126. So we're in the fucking future. And then,
I didn't
so,
even think about that.
but then again, if you go 505 years
2126.
before that, you're at 1116, which there was no. So how did this lore of 505 years come about when it only happened once? So that's it.
I
I just
mean,
had to bring it.
that's not the most unbelievable thing that
Oh
happens
no, no, no!
in this
I'm just,
movie.
we're just, but yeah. So anyhow, this turkey who,
But I did not think about that.
first
Wow.
thing I thought when I heard 505 years. I'm like, let me do the math because I like to take these movies and think logically for the fun of it. And, I know
Sure.
we can't take this seriously, but yes, takes place in the future. But anyhow, yes, as this turkey comes back, and I don't know how it holds the hatchets, the shotguns, and it talks.
No,
Obviously, you mentioned the
it
first
sure
line, "Nice
does.
tits, bitch, gobble gobble, motherfucker," and none of these characters question a talking turkey, and I'm like, what's going on? Like,
Oh,
well, let's just basically pick apart a few of the scenes that are kind of memorable for the wrong reasons. What is a scene that stands out in your mind in this movie?
well, very close to the beginning there, just like you were insinuating, we get introduced to Sir Sheriff, and he drinks his coffee, and he says, "This coffee tastes like shit," or something like that.
Oh yeah.
And the woman is like, "That's because I took a shit in it, and it's got literally a fucking turd inside of it." And then she's like, "I want a divorce." I'm like, "This is ridiculous." Like this, and it's not even. That's just the beginning part of the sheriff's arc, but that's when I was like, okay, this is going into a really funny direction. There were like a lot of very funny parts in this, and we'll get to a few other ones. But like, there were some genuine parts that made me actually fucking laugh out loud. They really were. And the sheriff randomly like sitting at his own breakfast table, like wearing a sheriff's hat. That's how we know he's a sheriff.
Hmm.
Drinking coffee that had been shit in was fucking hilarious. We saw Sharks to the Corn.
We did.
This is like, this production is actually better than Sharks to the Corn. That's not saying a lot, but it actually looks like an actual movie at times because I was thinking about how the set pieces were in Sharks to the Corn. This actually has set pieces that work, but it still wasn't enough to save it.
No.
What
So,
stands out to you, sir?
oh no. So yeah, this group of kids, obviously on their way back home, they all live kind of in the same area, I guess. They live 2 hours away, and they leave during the daytime, and then it's nighttime, and they're still not there. But then the car starts smoking. The engine is smoking, and they get
Oh
out.
yeah,
Car
that's
can't
right.
restart. And
Of
Allie,
course,
the
like every
dumb
movie
one,
ever.
I'm not going to keep calling her what we said, but the dumb one's just like, oh, is it a flat tire?
Hmm.
And I'm just, like you. This is when I'm like, all right, this is going off the rails so deep. But then they're like, oh, let's just camp here. But
Seriously,
that's when you hear, they tell the story of the turkey, and then all of a sudden they're hearing all
exposition.
this
Yeah.
stuff. Yes, they hear something outside.
Hmm.
All right, there is a bunny on fire that gets thrown into their campfire, like,
Oh yeah,
and they're
yeah.
freaking out. And then someone says the line, "Hey, this type of shit happens all the time."
I know,
Flying
right?
bunnies get thrown dead by
Gr-
fire. I'm like, what?
I did not understand that at all. I was horrified. I did not understand it. But I also was like, okay, this movie is clearly. We talk about silly movies. It's going in the silly route.
Mm. The turkey needs to catch up to the kids, and it kind of hitchhiking
Yes.
the side of the road, and it gets
Oh my God, that's
picked up
right.
for a good time. Like this, like
Oh,
I'm just like, what? That's when I was like, this movie is
gas or
fun.
ass, right? Isn't that what the guy
That's
said?
right. I forgot gas or ass.
Gas or ass to a
And-
turkey. Clearly, a turkey.
yes.
He's like gas or ass. It's like a turkey's gonna be like, oh yeah, let's fuck. I don't know. I see turkeys all the time on the side of the road, and we're like, I'm gonna pull over and get this turkey in my car so I can fuck it.
And then, yeah, it shoots that driver with a shotgun again. Don't know how that happens. And then drives. This turkey just is amazing. I will admit, Soto, as absurd as this movie is, and I know there's a couple more absurd parts we're going to do, this turkey is the only thing that made this movie. All
No,
his characters couldn't
100%.
act.
No.
None of them were just, obviously, it was just crazy. So anyhow, so now let's just kind of jump to when the kids are trying to figure out how to defeat the turkey, and they're going to the sheriff's house because they're like, he's got books, like, just like that was it. He's got books. There's got to be a book about defeating the turkey because of course, just deposition. But to your point, this whole time, this sheriff has been drinking coffee in this kitchen, and the turkey knocks on the door, and he's dressed up as a turkey. The turkey's dressed up as a human, and they're
Hmm.
sharing a cup of the coffee in one of the weirdest moments.
He dressed up like a human. Can you just clarify that he's wearing glasses with a nose and a
He
mustache
Supermaned it.
like
He
that
just
classic thing?
Supermaned it. He Supermaned it.
Yeah,
Yes. Let me rephrase that because the human part's really going to come in a little bit. But yes, the guy just thought he was a regular
yeah,
person, invited him for coffee, and they have an awkward conversation, and
it
the
was
turkey
great.
kills
It
the
was so
sheriff.
great.
The
Yes.
turkey,
Then what
and
does the turkey do?
oh well, when these kids, get to the sheriff's house, the daughter and knocks on the door. The turkey, wearing the face of the sheriff,
Yeah.
answers the door,
Yep.
and the daughter thinks it's her dad.
The turkey parts were so absurd that they were funny.
Yep,
The
they were.
problem is that there are these scenes in between the turkey parts that are fucking horrendous. And by the way, I don't know if you've mentioned it or if it's coming up, but like, this turkey fucks somebody.
Yeah. So, yeah, the dumb one goes home with the guy, and then in the middle of it, the turkey kills the guy, and then just basically takes the position, for lack of better terms, keeping this as PG as possible.
And
And
he
she doesn't
basically
know.
says, you've been stuffed. Is that
Yes.
part?
Yep. You've been stuffed.
You've been stuffed with his turkey penis. And then he kills her, right?
Yep. So
Yep.
he kills her. Um, Basically starts killing off the parents, and that's the funniest part is like these kids who've just lost their parents,
Oh my God,
like,
I know.
lost their parents, lost their friends.
Yeah.
One friend kind of just imagines like a cartoon turkey or something because he's so hungry.
Oh
Like this guy
yeah.
had to eat it like all the time.
Ends up being the real turkey, and it shoots its way out of his stomach
Yes.
with
Yeah.
a shotgun.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not.
All right.
I'm not. I'm not questioning this movie anymore. I'm just.
All right.
There's
All right.
way
I
too
just
many.
want to make sure that,
No,
like,
no.
he eats a cartoon turkey
He
in
eats
his
a cartoon-
mouth, and then it becomes a real turkey in his stomach
because
with
he's
a
so hungry.
shotgun because he swallowed a
A
whole
real.
turkey with a shotgun, and then that turkey shot its way out of his stomach. I just want to say that happened. I just want
That did
the
happen.
record to show.
They figure out how to defeat the turkey, and they think they do. Spoiler alert, obviously turkeys are never dead. But what do they decide to do next? The three people that are left, let's watch a movie together.
Yeah.
Just like, let's just, parents are dead, friends are dead, just like, what, let's just
And
go.
they're kind of
let's
just
go to-
like, you know what? Wow, we lost a lot today. But that's all right. It's just another day. We'll get him tomorrow. Like, there was no grieving. There was nothing. It just moved on.
Soto, I need to say this line that the guy says because he and the girl like, hey, let's be boyfriend. He's like, I may have lost my parents, but I've gained a girlfriend. Somebody wrote that.
Nobody said by nobody ever. I lost my parents, but now I have a non-committal girlfriend. That's just starting. Yeah, no, he did, and then I think they made out or something.
Yeah, and the other
kid ended up having to
kid's like,
watch
I'll
her.
just go in the other room, which obviously he gets killed, and oh my god. And then yes, they tease like a sequel and like to be continued in space. But this movie is just absurdness. It is so dumb. The turkey is the only best part. The talking turkey, it did have some funny moments, but there's no way. I am definitely some inappropriate. Definitely, there was also we didn't even touch on there was a few racist moments in this too. Like, oh god,
he was racist.
Yes, this turkey did not give a shit about anyone. But this could be like one of the worst movies I've seen, and a talking turkey, is the only thing that saves it just a little bit from being like a score of 0 to a score of 1. If I grading out of 10.
I think it's better than Sharks of the Corn. I'm not saying that that's a compliment, but the fact that there was a turkey in this one that made me laugh and not so much in Sharks of the Corn makes it slightly better.
Mm-hmm.
But yeesh, this is. I've seen some bad ones, and this was a total runtime of 70 minutes.
Thank God.
And it felt long.
It
felt long.
Yeah.
It felt really long. This is my final thoughts on this movie. If this movie was 5 minutes long, this would be one of the greatest movies of all time. But it's not. It goes on for another 65 minutes, and there's a lot of terrible shit that I just cannot abide by. I get the joke. I get that it's not supposed to be a serious movie. I'm not like oblivious to that. But it is just like if you're gonna go all the way with this turkey idea, You gotta, like, every scene's gotta be like a banger, a banger, a banger, a banger, even if it's bad. And there were so many parts that were just like, oh my god, we were just going to A to B, A to B. Somebody had an idea about this, which is a pretty funny idea,
Hmm.
but it did not need to be 70 minutes long, and I hope to God I never have to see this again.
Let's just leave it at that. And for those who have listened that long, if you want to see a really bad movie, check out Thankskilling. Tell us what you thought about it. If
Oh
you
god.
just, I'm like, it is a bad movie. We're telling you that right now. You are gonna watch a bad movie, but you're gonna laugh at a few parts if you have an absurd sense of humor, basically. So, but yeah, let us know what you thought of it. Please, how much it sucked, what your favorite part might be. But until next time, first of all, have a great Thanksgiving and gobble gobble, motherfucker.
Nice tits, bitch.